Ladies and gentlemen, I'll call this meeting to order, the Mayor and Board of Commissioners for March 25th, 2025. Could I get the roll call, please?
Pauline Braun, Emily Kleiner,
Here.
Dave Warnick,
Here.
Augie Pearson.
Here.
Let the record show you have a quorum.
Thank you, and let the record reflect that Commissioner Braun did submit a report that Town Administrator Bonenberger is going to cover. Will you rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, in light of a prayer, I'd like to do a moment of silence in honor of Dr. Gale, who was a huge impact on Cecil County. Dr. Gale recently passed away. I know of an impact that he definitely made to Charlestown as well as the greater Cecil County community. Thank you. All right, first on the agenda is the consent agenda. Town Administrator, do you have that?
Yes, you just have the approval of the February 27th, 2025 town meeting video summary and a schedule of the upcoming town meetings.
Could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Warnick, then Kleiner. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, no public presentations. Would anyone like to speak this evening? Anyone? Moving forward into staff reports. Town Administrator.
Yeah, my report is brief. We're heading into budget season, obviously. As we've done in the past, our plan is to hold the line on our expenses. Our revenue, and I'll give more of a report when we actually get into budget hearings. But our real estate tax values, which are very important for the community after so many years of them declining, are still increasing. However, they are not increasing at the rate they did the past 2 years. Last year, we saw a $58,000 increase in projected revenue from the year before. This year, we're only going to see about a $33,000 increase. I want to put some things in perspective for everyone and even people watching. I still think it is very, I'll say the word remarkable, that our town has been able to do some of the things we've been able to do financially, because like when I just sat here and said, last year we saw a $58,000 increase, and this year we're seeing a $33,000 increase. We're talking about only a $33,000 increase on a $1 million or $1.1 million threshold. So that's a very small margin. But, other communities, that might be more of a major issue for them to try to overcome with such a small impact. But we have been successful over the years at, making the organization very efficient and productive and getting things done, that we can sort of slide into, dealing with those types of things. So the margins are not very high, but I'm sure, the staff is already working on it, that we'll be able to present a budget just like we did last year. Again, we are, the budget basically is going to hold the line. We'll have some discussions in the next, at the next meeting about the real estate tax rate. We can talk a little bit more, about that when we get to that point. But, it's positive. Once the new development comes along in the community, that will sort of relax some of the restraints that we've had on this community for in excess of 20 years. So we're looking forward to that. The development process, I think it's important to give everybody an update on the development process, because obviously there are people there's residents in our community and beyond our community that are very sensitive to the idea of development, and rightfully so, because we know we've had a lot of bad development in the early 2000s. And when nothing is happening, people get a little concerned that something is happening and they don't know. We're in a lull right now because when you go through the land development process, the first thing a developer will do, for the most part, is submit a concept plan. And a concept plan is sort of like throw it up against the wall and see what sticks and go from there. Once you get your concept plan approval, there's a lot of work involved in getting a preliminary plan ready to go. In the land development world, all the heavy lifting of land development is done in the preliminary plan stage. So I want to assure people that nothing has happened. We're trading, we're reviewing plans as they are being submitted. Our engineer is doing his due diligence to make sure that things are the way they're supposed to be from a code standpoint. I would anticipate that we might see one of the developments break through for a preliminary plan submittal in maybe mid-April, and the other one may follow in May. Those approvals don't always happen the same night that they are submitted, because as I just said, preliminary plan approval is a heavy lift. There's a lot involved in it, and you only have so many hours in a night to be able to talk about it. So we might see 2 or 3 of these meetings over a couple weeks period before all the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed. But I just wanted to update the community that there's nothing going on right now that we need, that the community's not missing anything. There's a lot of work being done behind the scenes. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Chief?
Just a couple things. There's no real update on this. I'm sorry. There's no real update on the speed cameras. We have to install a few signs of a notifying the public of a school zone, and that is our part. The next part will be from the company that's installing them to finish their permitting with the electric and so forth. This weekend, we have the Rising Sun Middle School Tiger Trot. The run begins at 9 a.m. It's going to last for about an hour. That typically clears up in about an hour. But also happening at that same time is events at the Rising Sun Fire Company, which are Easter egg hunts and a craft show. So if you don't have to come to town during that period of time, please avoid it. If you do have to, we'll work with you to get you where you need to go, but for the most part, please don't just come joyriding through town, because you will find yourself sitting in traffic or cause more problems than good. Then the following weekend, we have the Rising Sun Little League Parade, so look for some delays and some traffic in that during that time also, and that's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Assistant Town Administrator.
I do have a few things I want to call attention to the public that we're going to be doing hydrant flushing 3 nights starting on April 15th. So we'll be flushing hydrants on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of April. Dumpster day will be April 26th. So if you have things that you need to get rid of and have taken to the dump, that's a free day to get those out of your home and get them taken away. Project that we're working on, we're doing cleanup at 13 Cherry. Dumpster will be set there tomorrow, and we'll be cleaning up the outside of that location. The Cultural Center, painting the room is complete. We're removing the carpet while we have the dumpster here so we can get rid of the carpet that's there while the dumpster's here. We're going to start working on mulching and getting ready to start mowing. We're going to actually start weed eating because there's some places that are looking a little ratty. So we'll put out some mulch and get that weed eating done. Great thing for the town, the sewer plant did pass another one of the wet tests, so that's a really good thing. Not much on the water side, so that's it for me.
Thank you. Moving forward into the mayor's report. Go ahead.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Augie.
can Judy repeat that first part of her report?
Yes, I
It
was.
came in garbled.
Hydrant flushing, did you get that part? That hydrant flushing is going to be 3 nights starting April 15th. We won't start flushing until probably after 9 o'clock, so that families can get their evening work done. So it'll be the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Dumpster day will also be April 26th, where if you have any large items you want to bring and put into the dumpster, we can take them away for free for you. Projects, the cleanup is at 13 Cherry. We're going to have a dumpster set there tomorrow and get the outside of that facility cleaned up. Cultural Center, so you got the rest of it?
Yeah, I got the rest of it. I didn't quite get the first part, that's all, but I'm good.
All right.
Thank you. Moving forward into the mayor's report, my report's pretty brief. Chief Peterson and I were lucky enough to surprise the Rising Sun Elementary School 4th grade with a pizza party for their participation in the If I Were Mayor essay contest, which is sponsored by the Maryland Mayors Association. We did have a winner this year, Raylan Kennedy, and she will be honored by the governor in Annapolis on the 25th of April. Couple of just some updates. The room that Judy was talking about will be our future museum. We are very excited about that, just so that the board knows. We will begin the process this summer of going through the museum and spotlighting items, as well as condensing some of the collection that we have that is not associated with the town. I have written a ton of letters this General Assembly cycle opposing bills, everything from a tax on business to allowing the homeless to do encampments on public properties and you wouldn't be able to remove them. Still keeping updated on bills as we've reached the halfway point where bills have crossed over into the other house, and we will continue to keep an eye on that as far as we can. I did want to also add that Governor Moore and Secretary Jake Day visited Cecil County and came to Rising Sun, where we hosted a tour of Garden Girl and of Rise and Grind. We also had a great time with Secretary Day and got commitments from him to help with the demolition of the buildings that we now own, as well as a commitment to help with our new community building. We are hopeful that this summer that you'll see those buildings begin the process of a strategic demolition, and we'll continue to keep the board updated on things that are going on with that. In addition, we're looking for mid-June to July for a new deck to go on to the community building, which will be the first addition that folks will be able to use. That concludes my report. I also wanted to just remind folks that as the warmer weather is going on, we do have a lot of walkers. Please be cognizant of kids that are walking in our community. And Rising Sun Police Department will continue speed patrols, making sure that they stay safe during this time. Moving forward into commissioner comments. Commissioner Braun, Calvin, do you have Commissioner Braun's?
Yes, a couple things that she wanted us to cover is we're actually getting a lot of requests outside of the town of Rising Sun from county residents that are starting to incur problems primarily with their septic systems, but also some with their wells also. That's not always an easy solution because it depends upon the proximity of where our piping systems are at and whether or not we're in a position to do it or whether the property owner is in a position to do it. But we've had about probably upwards of 10 inquiries in the last 3 months from properties in and around the town of Rising Sun. So we're trying to figure that out to see if we can accommodate some folks. We're also going to begin looking into revisiting some grants that we tried to secure many, many years ago regarding the undersized water lines on Reynolds, Buckley, those areas, some of the older part of the development, older parts of the town. We do incur water main breaks in those areas because the system is so old. They're smaller lines. They're lines of a material that have more of a tendency to accumulate sedimentation and blockages in them. So we're gonna try to, in the next go-round of grants, with the Maryland Department of the Environment, we're gonna try to see if we can secure some grant money. We're going by memory, when we wrote the grant, many, many years ago, I believe it was upwards of about 10,000 lineal feet of what we believe is undersized water lines. So it's a big chunk of water lines that we'd like to try to, get repaired and replaced. The other thing that we are looking at is the Planning Commission had a vendor come in 2 meetings ago regarding basically what would be low-pressure sewage systems. And what that basically means is, you know, right now, your sewage just, in most cases, sewage leaves somebody's house by gravity, it goes out into our system. However, there's a pretty high cost for the installation of that type of sewer, whereas new technology has come out where you can install what basically would be a low-pressure sewer system. If anyone has a sump pump in their basement, sort of look at it as the same way, where the sewage would go to a pump that's designed to pump sewage the same way your sump pump does. Obviously, but instead of it pumping it out into your yard, it pumps it into a low-pressure piping system that runs through the community back to a gravity line at some place. And we're literally talking about pennies on the dollar for an installation like that. And with all the developments, or the development that is looking to come into the town, there can be some advantages to this low-pressure system, especially if a development were to require a wastewater pump station to be installed. In other words, a wastewater pump station could cost $2.5 million to install, and then the town in the future has electric bills and maintenance and you know, a lot of things you have to stay on top of. Right now, the town has the benefit of not having any pump stations. That's remarkable in a wastewater treatment system, that everything we have is gravity. So introducing pump stations to the community, although not unusual in other communities, does trigger a lot of down-the-road costs. Whereas if we were to be comfortable with transitioning in those cases to a low-pressure system, we could avoid a lot of costs for the town down the road. So those are some of the 3 of the things we're working on in the sewer and water world.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Town Administrator. Commissioner Kleiner.
Yes, I have a few comments. Just echoing your concerns about speeding. I'm a walker, not a student walker anymore, but definitely out and about some mornings, and I'm seeing incredible speeds on residential roads that are very dangerous. So for an update for the town, we're considering speed bumps on West Cherry for the next budget cycle. And as Judy mentioned, there's going to be a dumpster on 13 East Cherry Street, and traffic should be aware of that as they're making their way through town. I also wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who came together for the governor's visit, all the businesses and just everyone here. I think that came together very beautifully, and it was a great day for the town. So thank you all for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Kleiner. Commissioner Warnick.
So Rising Sun Middle School is going to be doing a community cleanup at Volunteer Day at around mid-April at the Dog Park and Veterans Park. I'd like to thank Public Works for cleaning the parks and getting them ready for the warm weather. So, and that's that for a report. Thank you.
All right. You can see the trash, recycling, and yard waste calendar. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Pearson.
Thanks. I may not be physically there, but at least I'm here.
Oh, you're
Okay.
here.
I've gotten a request from the Little League if we can get a bigger dumpster this year, or possibly 2 dumpsters put together next side by side. I realized that last year we were looking at this, and there was a space problem with the dumpsters. But if we can do something, they would appreciate it, because they know starting next week, the dumpsters will fill very quickly. That's all I have in my report.
Commissioner Pearson, did you also want to include the volunteer fire banquet, which is on the 5th?
Yeah, you can. I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay.
I know it's coming up.
Yep. It'll be on the 5th at 6:30, I believe.
Okay,
All right.
sorry.
All right, thank you. On the agenda, you can see the Yardways calendar as well as upcoming town events and holidays. One last thing that I wanted to recognize as we close Women's History Month. Rising Sun has had a lot of women leaders. We have a significant amount of past female mayors. We depend on our office staff so much that are made up of females. And we have obviously 2 commissioners on our board. I just want to say on behalf of our town, we're super thankful to them for all their hard work that they do in office and by serving our community. We definitely appreciate you. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I
Second.
make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Bye.